Let me share our Guruji's photo. Let's pray to our Guruji for his blessings.
Guruve Sharanam.
We are disciples of Guruji Sundar. So today we are going to have a pretty simple and an interesting topic to be discussed in this forum. I would like to start this session with a few basic questions about love, and then we can discuss in detail about it. So, Vani madam, I would like to hear it from you. People used to say that giving love or sharing love. How can you share love with someone? How can you give love? Can you share your views on that?
Tough questions. I think fundamental part of the basic part of this feeling of love is empathy. When you empathize with the other person, and at least in normal relationships, so far I can say that when you feel for the other person, you understand the person, and you share the concerns, you're able to empathize, share your energy, and feel happy in the presence of, well, these are some of the, what should I say, dimensions of it that I can immediately say, though it's a very large, big subject, depthless. And in many situations, it could be self-serving also to some extent. It could be selfless also. There's a mixture of everything. There are many examples of that selfless kind of love. But in a normal sense, most of us are bound together in a kind of give and take of all kinds of manner. But I would say that as far as I'm concerned, a kind of understanding or empathy from the heart, where you can understand the other person in all situations and accept. I think that's a basic part of it.
Okay, thank you, Vani madam. That was very nice. Actually, you used a few beautiful words. Selfless sharing of love. Why I asked this question is long back, Guruji, when I was having some discussion with Guruji, and suddenly I used the statement in Tamil. I was saying like Anbu Seluthren. Then Guruji suddenly asked me, okay, that exact translation, I don't know what it is, but the translation of Anbu Seluthren in Tamil is giving love, okay? So Guruji asked me simply like, how can you give love? What is love? It's very usual that whenever Guruji asks me any such questions, if I know answer, I will say, otherwise I'll just keep it with me, and I'll know someday I will realize it. Someday I will know the real truth about it. That's how our conversation usually will be. So I just left in with that question. I mean, I didn't get the answer that day. I just left. I had that question for very long. And someday I found it. So before sharing that answer, uh, I just want to go a bit deeper into what Vani Madam shared. So Vani Madam was mentioning that selfless sharing of empathy or love. So basically, even psychology says that in case there is an accident happened on the road, and if people are going to help someone, okay, the person, the victim who met with an accident, there could be four reasons, and that four reason or four categories. You cannot call it as reason, but some kind of four categories. So in that four, three of them is come under some egoistic category. That is without compromising or without sacrificing. Only one category comes under sacrificing something. That is without sacrificing yourself. You can help them in three ways for three reasons or something. One is like they could be somewhat related to you, or they could be somewhat like you can feel that I'm a very good person that I helped someone who met with an accident. That could be second reason or something. Third could be to save your own race, that he's also a human. If all human dies, what will happen? So something like, but you're not sacrificing yourself, but still for these reasons, you go and help them. There is fourth category is actually come under a complete non-egoistic behavior. Like you help them by sacrificing yourself. So there is nothing like you share the love, you give the love just by sacrificing yourself, that you're losing something from you. That's it. This is a psychological point of view, but actually spirituality is something completely different from this. I'll come to that, but immediately after I heard what Mani Madam said, I thought of just sharing that point. Let me get to Deepika. Deepika, would you like to share anything on that? How can you give love?
What I think on this topic is love is the feeling that I feel towards myself, and I think I can project it to anyone or anybody I want, be that a wall, a painting, or a dog, cat, human, without expecting anything in return.
Okay, that's nice. Okay, so without expectation, sharing something.
Yeah, it's just that I feel good, so I would also want the other person or something to feel good. So it's just my reflection on that other, the opposite thing or person.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
You need not communicate it physically.
Okay. Actually, the physical communication doesn't need to be verbal also. That could be.
Yeah, that is what.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Thanks,
Okay.
Deepika. Thanks for sharing your views. Mohan sir, would you like to add anything?
Yeah, sir. It's like a love is a kind of concern or a kind of affection which is shown unconditionally and untransactable. A form of what do you say? I'll not say it's a transfer. It should not be untransactional and unconditional. There shouldn't be any condition for giving this love and the concern which is shown. That's what I'll say. It's a form of love. It's a true form of love.
Okay. Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. So I heard this word quite a few times. People.
I also want to add one more thing. I can also say it as bhakti also.
Okay.
Like you just dissolve in that thing itself.
Okay. My question was actually my question is not what is love. The question is how can you give love?
No, you cannot give love actually.
Why?
because we are so self-centered. We're just extending our feeling towards whoever or whatever it is. That's all. So it's not like giving. It's just I'm extending because I have to feel good.
Okay. 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 So let me share my views on this. So you all mentioned something, beautiful words, unconditionally sharing something, love. So first of all, how can you do something unconditional with mind? So my question is, how can you share something or do anything unconditionally with mind?
It's like
Not
you
possible.
Yeah, please,
no.
Mani madam, go ahead.
Not possible. I think we may say it's unconditional, but it ends up all being conditional actually.
Okay. Yeah, Mohan Ram sir, you want to share?
So, see, we should not expect anything in return. It's a kind of, that's what I was mentioning. It should be non-transactional. It is like I may get something out of that. So,
You don't expect anything. That's
yes,
but
yes,
even without expecting anything, can you be unconditional?
yeah, it can be like your mother is loving a kid. So,
Is
yeah, pardon?
a mother is loving a kid.
Yeah, it
Mother,
will be purely, yeah, mother. It will be purely unconditional because,
you didn't get the answer. A mother is loving.
That's the condition.
So a mother would love only his kid and not the neighbor's kid as much as she loves his, or I mean
Only
her,
if she is
her
mother
child.
she can love, is it? So that is not a condition.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Okay. Deepika, you want to add anything, or I can share my views?
Yeah, you can share.
Okay. So what I was saying is, see, love, whatever we refer it as, no matter whatever the definition the world gives or anyone says, okay, it's basically, it is all like a conditional process of mind. It's as simple as that. Okay. You, everyone usually thinks that they say that mind is emotional and intellect is logical, or they will always hear that my mind can understand, but what can I say, what can I do? They will touch the heart and say the mind can understand, but what to do, the brain or the intellectual uh, can't really understand. It's or the vice versa. They will say, when they were making emotional decision, they will say, okay, I can understand that logically it won't work. That is, the intellect is saying don't do it, but my mind, emotion, is actually forcing me to do that. But actually, both are mind only. It's a very, very, very wrong misconception the world have perceived, that emotion is out of something, and all these logics are out of something. I mean, this intellect is out of something else. But actually, everything is mind. The heart is completely logical, and mind is completely logical. So if you are having an emotion for a kid, there is something you're crying or you're sharing something, it's obviously you call it that as emotion, but it's nothing to do with heart, because it is logical. You're crying only for your kid, you're not crying for someone else. And even if you're crying for someone living somewhere on the planet, even there should be some logic in it. If you're completely illogical, I think Deepika was sharing something before the session, that she was, when she goes to a temple and she started crying, she don't know the reason. That is out of heart. It is not out of mind. So emotions is also out of mind, because we are not observed what is mind. So we don't know what is mind and how well it is settled, how widespread and rooted it is. So we don't know that. So because of that, we confuse ourselves with some logics given by the world. And they say, okay, this is mind and this is heart and something, they are saying something which is not true. Anything which has a reason, which has a logic, it is mind. And anything which doesn't have a reason, anything which is completely illogical, it is out of heart. Trust is out of heart and belief is out of mind. So this love, whatever we say, it is all just based on those reasons stored in any form. It could be based out of your memories. You have stored something in your memories and it just goes and access that memories and say, oh, what a nice person. Okay, happened to him, some emotions comes out. Or you help to someone by seeing them, they are poor. Or you help to someone because you want to feel you're good. You're a very good person. So all these are something related to the mind's play, logical execution, and we call that as love. But you know what is the real love? The real love is, leave the statement of conditioning or unconditioning. A real love is nothing but your being is the pure form of love. It's completely logical. Your being is completely logical. It's just like rain. Whoever comes, it just flows. And doesn't even think that I just know flow, just given water to these people or just did this. Nothing. It's just a pure altruism. You know the word altruism? You search for it in Google. So basically, you don't have any reason. You don't have any credits for what you did. You don't have any responsibility for what you did. You just did what has to be done on that moment with the clarity of what you are. I'm repeating that. You are not taking responsibility for what you did. You're not taking credit for what you did. And you don't have any reason for what you did. You just did what needs to be done on that moment. The reason could be there. There could be some mind-created reason, but whatever the reason is, what happened is happened. It's simple. We can say this is the reason I did it. That's okay. But it's more like, in this situation, this is what I have to do, and I did it. You did that in a proper clarity of what you are, the Brahman. If you are in that state, if you are clear, having a clarity and peace within yourself, you do what has to be done. More like not playing much with the mind or not playing much with any complexities or criticalities of mind, just doing what has to be done. Act with a complete acceptance. So this is, in my understanding, is altruism. Okay. And you are not taking credit for anything. Remember that. It's not you have done it. It's not like clouds have formed and they take a credit that, okay, we have given water to them. So what happens when flood comes? Is the cloud is responsibility for it? No, it just happened. It's a natural process. It just happened. Same way, your being is a pure form of love. Whoever comes, it just flows. That's it. It doesn't see who it is, what it is, no identities, nothing. If you are in your form, formless, not form, formless. If you're being that, you will be just flowing like anything. No identities, no reasonings, thinking to whom I'm giving, what I'm giving, nothing. It's just happening. Like raining. So when the moment you say, I give love, the play of mind have come into existing. And obviously, it is just another, some expression. I don't know what an appropriate word I can use. It's another expression. That's it. But being love, Being is love. That's the true love. That's my view. Vani madam, you're raising your hand for sharing some question. Let me unmute you.
Yeah, you had mentioned, I wanted to know whether this being love, does it all, is it irrespective of whether it is giving to somebody, or can be any action, or is it towards particular, in the mind related love, it is always to somebody, in favor of somebody, for somebody, or for something. What about this other one which you're talking about? Is it any action that arises from it?
No, madam.
Is it all encompassing of all actions, or only giving or helping or whatever?
No, no. Let me make it some more clear.
Yeah.
When Buddha was living, there were some stories told. I don't know the authenticity of the stories, but I liked few of them which really had the truth in it. The people used to come and just fall on his feet. They get enlightened and they just go. Okay. So immediately the question was asked, like, what really happened? I mean, they came and they just fallen on the feet and they got enlightened. Is there any logical process of getting through some kind of a spiritual journey or nothing? They just came, they fallen, they just got enlightened, they gone. But there is another fact was shared, like his brother, Buddha's own brother, was not enlightened till that day Buddha actually got into left this human form, physical form. See, that's exactly what it is. When someone comes with a complete openness, they get drenched in the love, the divinity of Buddha. So Buddha didn't give anything. Just note that Buddha didn't give anything to anyone. Buddha was that. Buddha was that, like a rain, like a waterfalls, anything. Whoever had eyes to see that, whoever was completely open and ready to accept, they just fallen, surrendered, they got drenched, the divinity, they got enlightened. So now I'm asking the question, did Buddha give anything to them? Or just Buddha being that? So when you are in the true formless state, it's not a state, a formless, being that, the nature of that is love. Being is love, a pure love. That's it, nothing else. Whoever comes in front of it, within it, with complete openness, they will experience it. See, we might say that when we face problems, we say that, okay, see, God have not helped us. I'm not getting into a point like God exists or not, who is God and all those things. That is a different topic. Just for a reference or just for a question, just giving it as an example. We always use the statement, but the question here is, when someone is sleeping and having a nightmare, waking him up from the nightmare, from the dream, will be helping him, or getting into his dream, or answering the questions in his dream, saying that nothing will happen, take care, I'm there, nothing will happen. Will that help him more? For a mind, for a logical reasoning, the one who is in the dream, in the nightmare, for him, why someone have not come within my dream and not shared something with me or blessed me or saved me? That would be the question. The mind would say there is no love shared to you, right? The mind will say there is no love shared to you because you're left alone. But the love is shared to you because it was not trying to tell you that, okay, nothing will happen. This nightmare is that, this, that, or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Rather than it's trying to wake you up. Until you wake up, you won't know it's a nightmare. Until you didn't had a nightmare, you never know there is something like that exists. And what is the reality and what is the dream? So this is the divine love. But mind can give a different reason for it and say, this is, I'm totally left alone, or no one have helped me, everyone is troubling me, or God has left me somewhere. No. Even to realize that, we need some level of awareness. We need to be conscious. Even to realize how much love, every moment, existence, sharing, or pouring on us. We don't know. If for a namesake, if I take some number, like if you have 1 million possibilities, okay, that 1 million possibility, if one possibility or probability is the best and less painful for you, that is the probability, and that is the less painful path is the one which is given to you. We don't know that actually, because we don't know that the remaining million things which are ignored for us, which will be much more painful than this, because we are not aware, we are lost in it. See, now at this moment, we people are talking about this. We should really know that how much we are blessed. Yes, everyone have their own problems. Life is that same. I mean, I started loving my life, enjoying it, but obviously it has some materialistic things and everything people will go through. But God have shown you a right path and taken in you the right path, guided you, and being with you. It is one out of those million probabilities. That is just a number, unlimited probabilities. So that's what it is. I hope I answered your question. Vani madam, you can share if you have any questions on that.
Yeah, I think that was a wonderful response, and it's opened the boundaries completely. Showed the difference between mind-related and the being-related love. And so, as you said, it opens up a huge, what should I say? It's a limitless kind of dimension of love it is. So, it's good to know of its existence and to be aware of it, to sense it. Let's hope we all travel towards it speedily.
Definitely, madam. I mean, in Guruji's terms, existence have shown us the truth and taken us to this path. Existence will never leave us. Just like that.
Thank you.
Guruve Sharanam. We end this session here.